First up, an exclusive interview with Texas Senator Ted Cruz. Senator Cruz, welcome back to North Carolina. Thank you for some time this morning, sir.
Well, thank you, Tim. It's good to be with you.
I know you're still learning about a lot of these states. Do you know a lot about North Carolina, or are you still learning?
I am glad to be here. I certainly wouldn't hold myself out as an expert, but I can say the people have been warm and encouraging, and the support we're seeing is really, really tremendous.
We have 10, 11, we'll be up to 13, 14 candidates here in a few weeks. How do you separate yourself from the others?
You know, I think Republicans are looking for someone who will stand up and do what they said they will do. I think the entire Republican primary is going to come down to one word, and that's trust. We're seeing unbelievable enthusiasm and energy behind the campaign. You know, Heidi and I, after we launched, we went on a barnstorming tour. We went to Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina. Everywhere we went was standing room only. The local press reported the crowds coming out for us were much larger, sometimes double the size of other candidates. And then on the fundraising side, the support we've seen has been breathtaking. It's been record-shattering. In the first week, we raised over $4.3 million. Over 51,000 people all over the country from all 50 states went to tedcruz.org, contributed online. 95% of those contributions were $100 or less. And I think the reason we're seeing that record-shattering fundraising, the reason we're seeing that grassroots energy and passion and excitement, is people are fed up with politicians who say one thing and do another. And what I've tried to do in public office is very simple. It is tell the truth and do what I say.
So does that mean the other candidates aren't trustworthy compared to you then?
Well, that's going to be an assessment that every primary voter is going to make of every candidate. They're going to look the candidates in the eye and determine, are they telling the truth or are they blowing smoke? Look, Republicans are well familiar with the dynamic in a primary. Every candidate comes and beats his chest and says how conservative they are. They always say they're conservative on the campaign trail. And we've all seen the dynamic that they get to Washington, and they often don't end up doing what they said they would do. And it's the reason people are so fed up and frustrated. I've said a lot of times, the biggest divide we've got in this country politically, it's not between Democrats and Republicans. It is between career politicians in Washington, in both parties, and the American people. And as bad as you think Washington is, I promise you it's worse. I've seen it firsthand. We need leadership who will stand with the American people and who will bring us back to common sense conservative principles, to the free market principles and constitutional liberties that made America great. Our country is in crisis, and we've got to get back to the Constitution and the basic ideals of liberty upon which this country was founded.
You mentioned about the voters are sick of career politicians. We've seen the ratings for Congress. You are in Washington. Some of these governors in the race could say it's time for someone that's not in Washington. How do you counter that argument?
Well, we need someone who's demonstrated they're willing to take on Washington. And indeed, what I hope and what I believe primary voters are going to say to every Republican candidate is, don't tell me, show me. Show me that you have a proven record of standing and fighting for conservative principles. So if you say you oppose Obamacare, great. Show me where you stood up and fought to stop it. If you say you oppose President Obama's unconstitutional executive amnesty, fantastic. Show me where you've stood and fought to stop it. Support the Bill of Rights, the First Amendment, free speech, religious liberty. Show me where you were when the fight was waging in Indiana. Show me that you stood and fought for religious liberty then. If you say you support the Second Amendment, where were you when President Obama and Harry Reid tried to take away and violate our right to keep and bear arms? If you say you support the Fourth and Fifth Amendments and privacy, show me where you led stopping the federal government's bulk collection of phone metadata for law-abiding citizens. If you say you support the 10th Amendment, show me where you've stood and led to stop Common Core. If you say you support Israel, if you say you oppose radical Islamic terrorism, if you say you oppose Iran getting nuclear weapons, show me where you've stood and led. And I think that's going to be a key distinction in this Republican primary field, is the difference between candidates who talk conservative on the campaign trail and candidates who've been walking the walk and have a proven record behind them.